It's always nice to have it. But yeah, I've got plenty of USB ports on the back of there, plenty of USB ports in the front of this. Should be fine. So yeah, we're gonna squeeze this in. Which way around does it go? It goes in this way. Hopefully this will go in a lot easier than the old one did, because I had to absolutely wrestle with it. And if you're wondering, you can't put this in after you put your motherboard in. This needs to go in first. So if you forget that, and you put the rest of your computer together, I suggest you either forget about it entirely, or, well, you're going to have a bad time, because you're going to have to take your whole motherboard out to get that in. So right, let's see if we can squeeze you in here now. As you can see, there's a lot of cables you can hang around. That's because there's a lot of stuff connected in here. Come on. Come on. All those fall out. Not going anywhere. Good stuff. Okay, now we get the awkward bit. I say awkward bit, the interesting bit of putting my chip in. So that arm pushes down, comes across, that folds back, and that opens up to reveal many little pins. Okay, that's interesting. What have we got in here then? This is my chip. Where'd my knife go again? There we go. This is my Intel chip. I'm really hoping this is going to work first time, because I have been told that some motherboards don't support this chip yet because it's extremely new. I've done the research, and supposedly both mine and Ross's motherboards support this chip. And I really hope they do, otherwise it's going to be a bit of a disappointing weekend, and it's going to be a while before you see this video. Oh, it's got a cooler with it, that's handy. I don't need that because I've got a water cooler, but that's a standard cooler. That looks a little bit naff, doesn't it? Alright, well that's going to stay in the box. All of that box, just for that cooler, is a very much smaller case. There we go, there's my chip. It is absolutely tiny compared to the... where is it? I'm going to be naughty and quickly pop it out. I probably shouldn't take it out, but look. Alright, it's not that tiny compared to it, but it is quite tiny compared to the AMD chip. The one major thing though is, I remember me talking about lots of little pins on the bottom of these things. This chip doesn't have pins, the Intel one doesn't. The pins are actually in the motherboard. So I'm going to quickly pop you back where you belong. Bye bye AMD chip. The other thing to notice, which the AMD chip's quite a bit heavier than this Intel one too, which is quite interesting. Right, I'm going to be careful with this. That is so much smaller than the AMD chip. It really is. Let's pop him up. Yeah, look, so much smaller. Just like height wise too. It's not as tall. It's just a much more, look, just tiny compared to the AMD stuff. Tiny. Okay, I need to line this up properly. Where's my marker to? I can't see the marker to line this up. Oh dear. Could be on there somewhere. Well, I'm not guessing. Oh no, hang on, there it is. There's that little circle. It's supposed to be a triangle, it's a little circle. So supposedly, I just rest that in. Normally I don't worry about these things, I'm kind of worried about this. I'm going to make sure I've got it the right way around. Yep, that says I've got it the right way around. Man using a manual. And then I put this down. Oh. And I slide that over, and this is supposed to take quite a bit of force because it's pushing it down onto those little pins. And that little plastic thing's supposed to pop up. Oh, that's a lot of force. There it goes, so it's popped up. That feels like loads of force to put on that. That's a bit worrying. And that hooks underneath, and that's my chip installed. Wow. Okay. That's interesting, especially from an AMD guy. Oh. It's genuinely a little bit of a worrying state there I was getting myself into. I always find I get a bit sweaty doing this kind of thing. I think it's because it's expensive gear, and I'm worried I'm going to break it. So I get a little bit sweaty, even if it's somebody else's computer I'm working on. I get a little bit sweaty. I think I get a little bit worked up. It's excitement. Part of it is excitement, definitely excitement, and part of it is just literally just being worried I'm going to break it. Because this stuff's not cheap. I almost made a mistake there as well. Me talking about it earlier, thermal compound, and your computer might part Derpy. Don't worry, it's only bounced off the fan. I've got another one. I have got a spare. But where are we? Me talking about this stuff earlier, saying your computer might blow up if you don't pick it up, and then I almost forgot it. Thermal compound looks a little bit like toothpaste. Definitely not toothpaste, wouldn't want to do your teeth with it. This stuff's white apparently, normally it tends to be a little bit silver. But you only need a little dollop of this stuff, he says. You only need a little dollop, it will spread out. It's not too much for worry, that's more than enough. I might put a little bit more on. We have success. Right, that's getting flung out of the way for a moment. And we're going to put the Tartress back down. Now, I've got to knit these up a little bit. Because I want a nice firm, unmoving contact on my processor so I get good cooling so it doesn't explode like I keep saying, because exploding things are bad. Bad. Don't want to exploding computer. Especially once I've spent another £200 on it, because that would be awful. At the moment, current build price, including graphics card, 500, maybe 700-800 quid. Probably a little bit more over time because I've been doing it over time. But like current standpoint, if you bought all the bits separately, you're probably looking about £800, maybe a little bit more. I think that's a pretty good build. The one we're building tomorrow, day after tomorrow, sometime over the weekend for Ross is £600. And going in terms of dollars, oh, that's going to hurt my brain. 1.7. You're probably looking at maybe. I'm going to have to do it on the phone. I'll work it out in a bit. Here we go. That's going to help, isn't it? Right, I was saying, before I smashed things up, I need to find, I don't need to find anything, what am I saying? I just need to put the graphics card in and stop being stupid. Although I didn't put RAM in. What I'm going to do first, I did say I was going to do a little bit of testing. I'm going to borrow Ross's RAM and put it in my computer, and then I'm going to swap to my RAM, and I'm going to see what difference it does with the benchmarking which I mentioned earlier. So, we're going to pop this cool stuff open. I'm sure he won't mind. I'm sure he won't mind. The difference between these two is, I wrongly said earlier this is 233. This is 2133, 2133 megahertz. That is the bandwidth that the RAM can take. This is 3000 megahertz, which is quite a jump up. That's another 666 megahertz, I believe, off the top of my head, I think. You can go a lot faster with DDR4 RAM, a lot faster, a lot more bandwidth. I think you can go up to like 3600 at the moment, which is obviously quite a bit more. But this was, I believe, I think I got this RAM for him for just under £70, which is pretty good for 16 gig of RAM. Obviously, it's quite a bit more money than my £23 bit of RAM. But I'm gonna put this in first. Gonna run some tests, and then I'm gonna put my RAM in and box his back up. I just want to see what the difference is going to make, because later on I'm going to be changing something different. So I kind of want to see whether it's worth me saving up and spending a bit more money, or should I just be cheap and get some more cheapy, manky green looking RAM? We shall see, but I'm pretty sure this is going to make a big difference. So we're going to pop this in first. It does look really cool. It is Vengeance, Corsair Vengeance DDR4 RAM. Okie dokie, I've stuck a jumper on because I'm cold. Right, blue screen and power button. Very dusty, probably should sort that out. Things are happening, lights all have come on, I can hear some nice whirring. Not nearly as loud as it used to be, but it does look rather nice in there, doesn't it? Things are happening on the screen. Okay, apparently I need to configure my system. Press F1 to run setup. Okay. I've got a funny feeling that Windows may well make me buy a new CD key, because that's what they kind of like to do. I forgot about that. Should be alright though. Audio controller on. Fan for warning control. These are lots of buttons. It's working. 3.7 gig. I'm not sure what this chip's supposed to run at, but I'm assuming 3.7 is probably pretty good. It's registered the CPU, it's registered my RAM. That's nice and cool. 25 degrees, 28 degrees on the CPU. That's okie dokie. That's less than 90 degrees American. I know that much. RAM speed's wrong though. That's slightly worrying. Gonna have to go and turn that up. Come on, Windows, what are you doing?
6 hours later.
Great success.